So in the last class, we started a new method uh, for to tackle uh, fluid mechanics problem. Not only tackle, we can actually solve fluid mechanics problem numerically with this method. And this is most widely or most accepted method because of the underlying physics that it captures inherently. We have already introduced and we have taken up some key features. Today we will start with this governing equation, and so let me uh, write the steps for the formulation.
सर
So, हाँ, tell me.
सर आपने व्हाइट बोर्ड शेयर कर दिया है
Oh,
पूरी स्क्रीन।
व्हाइट बोर्ड शेयर कर दिया मैंने। Screen 1. Okay, is this correct now?
यस सर।
Okay. So today we will look upon the generic formulation and the steps involved in it. So the first step, step 1, is to divide the domain. Divide your domain, any whatever the domain you have. Let's suppose you are going to solve lead driven cavity. Let's suppose your top plate is moving with some v velocity, and this is a kind of cavity you can think of, and inside there is fluid, and if at all this top plate is moving, so your fluid particles may try to swirl and do some uh, show some dynamics here in terms of rotation. So what you actually do here is you are going to divide your domains into finite sized subdomains. So we are not considerate about these grid points. So we are not considerate about these grid points what we were considerate in finite difference method. But here we are more considerate on these grid points, these green points, rather the domains inside, rather to you in more precise sense, rather the centroid of the each domain we are more interested in order to capture the dynamics, or in order to capture the momentum conservation or mass conservation inside each small grid points. So the step 1 is divide domain into finite sized subdomains. Okay, and this and the control volume nodes are now considered as your grid points. Okay, control volume centroids are considered as grid points now, or nodal points now, where you are looking at your dependent variable values. Okay, now step 2. So step 2 is to integrate the governing equation or your partial differential equation over each subdomains. Okay, each small subdomains you need to integrate it. Okay, so let's try to integrate that. So what was our governing equation? So let's take this governing equation. This is my governing equation. So dou rho by dou, we'll take generic transport equation. So we have dou rho phi by dou t plus divergence of rho V phi, this is your advection term or the convection term, plus your diffusion term would be written as divergence of, so this some gamma, I'll tell you what gamma is. So this essentially is your diffusion term, this is convection term, this is unsteady term, plus some source term. So this is your governing equation that may govern. Let's suppose I am looking more interested in the temperature profiles over here. Right now we are not considerate about velocities, or maybe we can take velocity as well. Okay, no issue. So in more generic sense, we'll take, let's suppose my phi is my temperature. That is what I am looking for. Okay, this gamma is your diffusion coefficient. Diffusion coefficient. When you write Navier-Stokes equation, this gamma is nothing but your kinematic or dynamic viscosity, mu, right? And this rho is the generic rho is the density of your fluid. Okay, these two, this gamma and rho are your um, properties of your flow scenario. Okay, and phi is are your dependent variable, and t, and obviously this uh, divergence is in more generic sense. This is 3 dimensions. So whenever I write this term, so essentially I'm writing uh, I have clubbed actually dou by dou x rho u phi. So if I am writing this way, u dou rho, if I take outside, dou phi by dou x plus u dou phi by dou y. So this is this equation. So when I write my Navier-Stokes equation, this phi is u, this phi is again u here. Oh, okay, sorry, this is probably v here. Okay. So it is, all these terms are clubbed in the generic divergence term, and this is written in this form. Okay, and this term written over here is nothing but your some gamma times dou 2 phi by dou x square plus dou 2 phi by dou y square plus dou 2 phi by dou z square. If I write my Navier-Stokes equation, I am going to replace this phi with u's, and then this is your diffusion term. This is what it is written in generic sense. Okay, so I have divided my subdomains, and let's consider that this particular uh, subdomain is my domain of interest. Let me zoom it, and okay, by zooming it, I have, let's suppose I have some domain I have. Okay, and this domain has the volume dv, small volume. Okay, in in in, in the wake of simplicity. So just now what I will do is, in the wake of simplicity, I will assume that my governing equation is steady in nature currently, and there are no source terms. So I'm interacting only these two terms, and let me try to integrate these things. Okay, for simplicity, I have avoided steadiness and source term, although you can take these things as well. So while integrating, so we have del dot rho v phi is equal to del dot gamma del phi. I'm going to integrate it with dv. I'm going to integrate with dv. Okay, I'll club these things. I'll take this thing left side, and I'll write everything as del dot rho v phi minus gamma del phi, or gradient of phi. dv is equal to 0. Now this thing is in physics, this whole thing, the subtraction of this term and this term, usually we write as some sort of flux J. It is written with another vector field called some sort of flux, or maybe it could be momentum flux, it could be mass flux. If my phi is equal to 1, it boils down to mass flux. If my phi is equal to u, then this flux is momentum flux. If phi is equal to t, it's some sort of heat transfer, heat flux or something. You could relate it with in generic sense. So in the next page, let me write this equation as del dot some generic flux. Okay, some generic flux or some generic vector field dv, that is integration of so your j flux was, so this was your j vector field, okay, this this dv volume. Okay, now this is equal to 0 and it is integrated over dv. Okay, now we already know that let's suppose I mean using Gauss divergence theorem, I can write, if at all, any vector field that is going across any volume, and the divergence, if I write, if I have this scenario, I have the divergence of any vector field around the across the whole domain dv, then it can be, without loss of generality, I can actually write this as the same vector field times I mean dotted with the unit vector times ds, isn't it? You guys remember? Or to be more generic, it can be written as a dot ds vector. And this one second. Hello. हाँ अभी हम बात नहीं कर सकते हैं, छोड़ देते हैं. Okay, so okay, fine. So this, whenever I write the divergence of any vector field integrated over the volume, I can write it, I can equally write at this vector field dotted with the ds element and integrated over all surface. So this is your surface. So let's suppose this is your ds. So this is your ds, let's suppose, and in more generic sense, this can also be written as a dot ds can also be written. Let's suppose this is my unit normal vector. So a dot unit vectors can be dotted with the vector field times the scalar ds quantity, and this ds can be integrated through the whole surface area. So now your volume integral is being converted to your surface integral. Okay, and even in fluid mechanics also, I didn't show the proof of this, but it's highly mathematical. I mean, Gauss might have done it probably 100 years back, but it is so useful right now also, that it is uh, invariably being used by most of the physical scenarios around us, because most of the time we don't want to work in volume domain, rather we want to convert it into the surface domain. So that is why it is very useful in most of the physical scenarios around us. So now this can I can write using Gauss-divergence theorem, I can write this as J, the flux, any flux, the mass flux, momentum flux, or heat transfer flux, dot your um, uh, let's suppose this, you have chosen this surface, so the eta vector will be dotted, and this will be integrated through all sections at all the boundaries. Okay, and this gives you a notion of, so this is what, this is your ds. Now this gives you a notion that your fluxes are conserved in some sense, isn't it? Isn't it so beautiful that we have started with some generic PD, and now we tell that okay, your fluxes will be conserved, whatever J, so J is a function of your phi's, so whatever your phi is, your maybe your mass flux or momentum flux or any flux will be conserved around this boundary of this domain. Okay, now having said that, we have already proved this. So obviously, so if you go some flux is coming in and some flux is going out, obviously this is S1, this is S2, so you can actually, and this is S3, let's suppose there is no flux going out, S4 is 0, so you can actually integrate ds1 j dot n dot ds1 उसको करें हम, ठीक है, प्लस सबको ऐड करेंगे और वो देखेंगे सब जीरो होना चाहिए, ठीक है, तो अगर एक इन हो रहा है तो ये पॉजिटिव होगा, अगर एक आउट हो रहा है तो यहाँ नेगेटिव हो जाएगा, एंड वी कैन एक्चुअली derive your continuity and momentum fluxes here, I mean with this equation. Okay. Now we have some relations in our hand. Now let's move one for step forward, and let us take example problem in order to understand uh, this phenomena better. Okay, so the most common or most widely used governing equation that we may come across is your heat conduction equation. So we'll take heat conduction equation and we'll try to derive generic equations here. Okay, one thing I missed here. So this is done at one domain or one subdomain rather. Okay, this mass flux has been shown to be conserved at one domain. So similarly, you will have second domain, you will have third domain, and second and first domains are somewhat related because the flux that is coming out of this first domain could be coming into the second domain, isn't it? So 1 and 2 are somehow related, 2 and 3 are somehow related, or some maybe not, maybe yes, but at each subdomains you need to write these equations, okay, individual equations, and then you have to club all those equations, and then you have to write in the form of x is equal to b form, where x will be what, the values at each grid points. So values could be phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, and all sorts of things. So we'll see how we will start with a simple example, simple heat conduction equation. Probably we'll start with one dimensional heat conduction equation over a flat rod, okay, which is heated, okay, which is heated from one end, let's suppose 100 degrees C and 0 degrees C here, and we want to try to get the profile of at each locations. So what my first idea is to divide it to subdomains. So I'm going to divide it by certain subdomains. Okay, and each centroid will be of its area of interest. Now let's take a generic subdomain and we call this subdomain as P, pth control volume, isn't it? So let me write this way. So this is your P control volume. Okay, the next node will be east face node. So this is P, this is E, and this is west and your control volume is essentially this. There will be a, okay, this is your essentially your eth control volume. So what will be your eth control volume? This will be something like this. What will be your w control volume? This something like this. But we are more considerate about the eth control volume. Okay, generic control volume. Okay, and we try to come up with some relation, and the underlying governing equation is in the transient. Again, we have taken uh, steady case. So here also we will take steady case. We will go to unsteady case in future lectures, but for the time being, let's take it in steady case. But let me write the whole equation. So the whole equation reads as dot t by dot t is equal to k times dot 2t by dot x square, isn't it? This comes from Fourier conduction law. If you guys remember Fourier's Fourier's law or Fourier's conduction law in some sense. So we will not consider this for the time being. We will not consider. We'll assume that it's a steady case, and we will also assume that it has some source term. Let's try this way. Okay, this is the way we do it. But yes, we let's consider some heating is also done. Some some heat generation is there. Let's take this, and we also assume one thing, that this k is not entirely um, a constant, not entirely a constant. So I can club this k inside, and I can write a better equation, more generic, more not generic, more assumed or more approximated equation as dou by dou x k times dou t by dou x plus s. So we'll start with this equation, this particular equation, and we'll try to fit in, and we start with dividing the subdomains, and we write the governing equation. We integrate this governing equation over this pith control volume, over this pith control volume. Okay, we'll try to do that, and let's see what happens. And we also, while doing so, we consider that this the boundaries, the left and right faces are w face, small w, and small e faces here. Okay, that is what our convention we will be used, that this nomenclature we will be using throughout this course. Okay, one more thing, the the length of this domain is delta x, let's suppose. Okay, and the length between one centroid to another centroid is small delta x, or rather small delta xe if it is non-homogeneous, small delta xw if it is non-homogeneous, if at all. Obviously we will, while doing coding, we will try to take things similar. So in that case, delta xw will be delta x, delta xe. We'll take these sort of expressions, but let's try to put this assume that these things are non-homogeneous, obviously, uh, to be more generic in sense. Okay, now let's club let this try to integrate this governing equation over this pith control volume. Now what was my step, next step? Integrate the governing equation, the PDE, over pith control volume. Okay, so let's integrate that. So this is my d by dx, k times dot e by dou x. So dou will be converted to d because there are no other derivatives, time derivatives I have subtracted. So I can write the total difference, not total, what you say, not partial differential, the usual differential, plus s control volume. What is my control volume here? Can somebody tell me? So generally we take dv, but here we can take dx, right? So it's one dimensional only. So the my whole length is lying from here to here, isn't it? So we are going to integrate it from this to this, and this length we know that this is delta x. We'll take that accordingly, and this is equal to 0. Now we can write separately, and this can be integrated from west face to east face. This is my domain, so I will write here west face to east face. This is the way I should write it. Okay, so west face to east face I have to integrate d by dx k dt by dx plus west face to east face s dx is equal to 0. I can again write, so because this dx and this differential will cancel, I mean somewhat it will nullify effect, so we will left behind with k dt by dx written over west face to east face. This whole term should be written in this way, at west face to east face. I have to subtract. Okay, plus s times, I can write this x west face to east face and write it to 0. Then I can again write this as k dt dx evaluated at east face minus k, this whole thing, k dt dx evaluated at west face plus s times x evaluated at E, x evaluated at W, and negation would be this value. So x delta x I would write directly. This is equal to 0. 1 second. Let me move one step ahead. So this is k dt dx at east face minus k dt dx at west face plus s delta x is equal to 0. Now let us find these uh, values from this. So this is your pith node, this is your control volume you are talking about. So I am making a control volume in 2-dimensional sense, but your actual control volume will be 1-dimensional because we have taken 1-dimensional case. This is your east node, this is your west node, this is your west face, this is your east face. So dt by dx at east face, this is your east face, right? This is your west face. So you have to evaluate the slope at east face. So so here next step is to assume a profile for my variables. What I assume here is what people have done, that people have taken piecewise linear profiles. Okay, what I mean here is I would estimate that my pith variable is, let's suppose, this height, certain height, it has certain height. My east face variable temperature was, let's suppose, this is 100 degrees C or maybe 90 degrees C, this was 80 degrees C. So this is my profile, and what I do is piecewise linear profile assumptions I will take. That my profiles, my heat variation is happening linearly piecewise. So in this way I can do the things. Not only this, for the other uh, nodes, let me tell you that I can actually assume this also. I may assume, okay, fine, this is my t height here, this is my t height here. So essentially this is again piecewise. the only care you should take is your profile should be continuous. Continuous, although piecewise is fine, continuous at faces. And why continuous at faces? Because at faces you want your fluxes to be conserved, and that is logical also. Okay, so what does it mean? At least at faces your fluxes should be conserved. So that is why your slope is unique. Okay, you will have certain slope. Now this, you have certain slope, you have unique slope or continuous slope, then you can define this, or you can redefine your slopes with those profiles. Otherwise you cannot. So this is your linear assumption is much more valid than, so somebody may come, some student may come, sir मैं क्या करना चाहता हूँ, मैं polynomial profile लेना चाहता हूँ. I'll tell fine, you will take that. So but उसमें एक problem आ जाता है. Let's do that. This is your P, this is your east face, this is your west face, and now this is your west no I'm sorry, this is your east node, west node, pith control volume, this is your west face, east face. Now somebody may come and tell that, and you can also keep your profiles, I mean, as long as this P is here, E is here, okay, you join it. Okay, you can see that the at faces at least my flux is unique and this is continuous, and also you will have a unique slope, and you can also take the flux the profile as this. Okay, you will have a value at W, value at P is equal, and you will also see that your flux at the faces or the derivatives is unique, and this is continuous also. So this is also a valid assumption. But somebody may come and tell, sir हम polynomial लेना चाहते हैं. हम बोलेंगे ठीक है आप लीजिए, लेकिन when he does that, so when he does that, so उसको अभी लीनियर के लिए उसको दो पॉइंट को ध्यान में रखना पड़ रहा है और लीनियर इंटरपोलेशन कर दे रहा है, W और E करके लीनियर ही कर ले रहा है, ठीक है. बट जब पॉलिनोमियल होगा तो उसको 3 पॉइंट देखना होगा. जब वो 3 पॉइंट देखता है, so let's suppose I start from here, let's suppose this is my value, and this so W से वो ऐसे जाता है, वो किसी नॉन लीनियर प्रोफाइल के साथ, लेट्स सपोज ओके. बट जब दूसरे डोमेन में वो बनाता है, तो वो उसको तीसरा वाला W देखना पड़ता है, और उसके लिए उसको कुछ ऐसा खींचना पड़ता है. तो वो देख रहे, तब वहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम क्या आता है, वहाँ पे यूनिक फ्लक्सेस नहीं आ पाता है. मतलब जब वेस्ट फेस पे वो कैलकुलेट करता है तो यहाँ पे अलग स्लोप है या फिर अलग वैल्यू है, यहाँ पे अलग वैल्यू है, और यहाँ पे स्लोप भी यूनिक नहीं है. तो इट इज़ एडवांटेजियस दैट यू टेक पीस वाइज लीनियर प्रोफाइल्स, एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो सिंपल ऑल्सो एंड very powerful, and that also ensures that you will have a continuous fluxes at your faces. That is what we need. That captures the physics, essential physics out of it. So we'll not take up higher order polynomials in these cases, and we'll stick with linear profile assumptions. Okay, and this is simple also. So once we have linear profile assumption, I estimate that fine, this is my profile, this is my profile for this guy, or you may also tell that this is also your profile, this is also your profile, this is your P, this is your E, this is your W, and you can say that at east face you will have a unique flux, at west face also you will have unique fluxes. Okay, so let me quickly tell you that. So what is this slope over here at east face? So this value here is TP. Okay, this is your TP, this is your what, TE, isn't it? And you want to, if you want to estimate the slope, you have to subtract TP minus T, so you will have TP minus TE value at the this particular guy over here, and you have to divide it with the domain length, that is delta XE. So whenever I do that linear assumption, I am going to write my K dt by dx at east face as P value, capital P, minus TE value divided by delta X E. This is what we have chosen. Obviously this was my capital delta X, but these are my small delta X's. Okay, this is my, I have estimated my slope at east face. Similarly, I have to estimate my slope at west face. Similarly, this is my TP height, this is my TW height, and now I want to estimate the slope. तो slope कैसे देखेंगे? तो TP minus TW. एक गलती कर दी हम. 1 second. Okay, so this slope is negative ना? This is slope is negative, this is positive. So यहाँ पे ऑलवेज हम क्या करेंगे, राइट हैंड साइड वाले को लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से घटाएंगे और फिर पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव का झंझट ही हटा देंगे. तो हम यहाँ करेंगे टी माइनस टी पी, तो ये अपने आप नेगेटिव आ जाएगा, लेट इट बी, बट वो नेगेटिव साइन इसमें इनहेरिट रहेगा. तो ऑलवेज हम राइट माइनस लेफ्ट करेंगे. तो राइट माइनस लेफ्ट, राइट हैंड साइड में टी माइनस टी पी, यहाँ पर भी टी पी माइनस टी डब्ल्यू डेल्टा एक्स. यहाँ पे जो इसका जो ये लेंथ होगा डेल्टा एक्स डब्ल्यू है. ओके, नाउ वी आर इन पिक्चर. Now delta x is equal to 0. Now we have something in our hand. Very nice. अब हम क्या करेंगे, सारे TP वाले टर्म्स को क्लब करेंगे one side. And let's do that quickly. So let's do this. So one more thing. So when I'm estimating my east faces, this K can be treated as KE. Okay, piecewise. मे भी आपका क्या हो सकता है, इस डोमेन में आपका जो थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी है के ई है, अगले वाले में के डब्ल्यू रह सकता है, कुछ और रह सकता है. ठीक है, इट मे बी नॉन होमोजेनियस. इसको भी हम के ई सब्सटीट्यूट और के डब्ल्यू से डिनोट कर देंगे. तो दैट इज़ व्हाट आवर होल आइडिया इज कि के को हम कांस्टेंट नहीं रखे हैं. ठीक है, उसको हम अंदर की तरफ ले गए, डिफरेंशियल के अंदर ले गए. तो ये आइडिया है कि हर नोड पे या हर कंट्रोल वॉल्यूम पे मेरा के ई भी चेंज हो सकता है. तो ये एक जेनरिक सेंस में हम बना लेंगे. ओके, नाउ when I write KE delta XE plus KW by delta XW, और ये मेरा TP वेरिएबल रहेगा यहाँ पे. तो TP is here and I have clubbed both on one side is equal to KE delta XE, इसको क्लब करके TE लिखेंगे प्लस KW delta XW TW minus S delta X. Okay, if you do it properly, you will get these equations. Okay, now what we assume that this guy sitting over here, this guy is sitting over here is AE. This guy sitting over here is some value. So that, I mean, this is just to make sure that things are simplistically written. So this is AW, and what is this? This is nothing but AE, and this is nothing but AW. So AE plus AW, I can write it as AP. So what is my AP? AP is nothing but AE plus AW. So AP TP is equal to AE TE. This is the usual notation. The computational fluid dynamics researchers use AE, AP, AT, ऐसा वो लोग ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं. तो हम लोग भी वही कन्वेंशन फॉलो करेंगे. इवन टेक्स्ट बुक में भी यही कन्वेंशन फॉलो किए जाते हैं. सो AE TE प्लस AW TW plus this source term, I'll call it as B. So minus of S delta X, I would write as B. So now you see that for one control volume, for pith control volume, you have written this equation easily. Okay, so P के लिए आपने लिखा, similarly आप E के लिए लिखिए, W के लिए लिखिए, और लिखते जाइए. E के लिए भी लिखेंगे. ऐसे ऐसे आपके पास, if at all you have n control volumes, you will have n equations. राइट। और मे बी अगर हम फॉर सिंपलिस्टिक वे इसको हम अगर आई रख लें, इसको आई प्लस वन, इसको आई प्लस टू, इसको आई माइनस वन। ओके, तो जब हम ith नोड के लिए लिख रहे हैं तो वो ith नोड का जो वैल्यू है टीपी का, वो वैल्यू जो है डिपेंड कर रहा है आई प्लस वन, आई माइनस वन से, अपने नेबरिंग नोड से। ओके, समटाइम्स दिस इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड नेबरिंग नोड्स। सो हमको एक बहुत ही सिंपल algebraic इक्वेशन मिल गया। नाउ वी कैन club this all these things in one go। वन सेकेंड। सो यहाँ पे when I club this, for one node I have written this equation, for second node also I will write some equation, third node also I will write some equation। so हमें क्या वैल्यूज मिल जाएगी, टी आई प्लस वन, टी आई प्लस टू डॉट डॉट टी एन हमें, और यहाँ पे कुछ पेंटा डायगोनल या ट्राई डायगोनल मैट्रिक्स कुछ मिलेगा बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ए डब्ल्यू। तो यहाँ पे ए डब्ल्यू जीरो 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 समथिंग समथिंग मिलेगा, प्लस बी matrix transformation, and then we can solve in one shot, or maybe through iteration, or maybe we have certain schemes. Since pressure is not here, it is easy to solve, so we can actually solve through various numerical methods. In the next class I would take up two-dimensional case, or maybe I'll take up this also. And I mean, today we have already seen you have only, what is this term, only diffusion term. Okay, next time we will try to formulate the same problem under assumption that we have convection plus diffusion terms both available, and slowly and step by step we are moving towards the fluid problems, flow problems, because they have convection nature so as well diffusion nature. So this is entirely your heat conduction governing equation. It has only diffusion term, and slowly we will move towards fluid flow problems which has convection plus diffusion term. And first we will take 1D, and then we will take 2D, and then we will move across Navier-Stokes equation discretization. Okay. So yes, this ends my discussion for today's lecture. When we take the numerical example, it will be more clear that how things have been tabulated in this particular manner. Okay, so any
सर
question? हाँ बताइए।
सर हमने जो मेटलैब की प्रोग्रामिंग की थी तो उसमें वैल्यू आ जा रही है, फिर
हाँ,
वो ग्राफ कैसे ड्रॉ करे वो पता नहीं चल रहा है।
ग्राफ के लिए अच्छा, प्रभात ने भी पूछा था, ग्राफ के लिए आपको वैल्यूज क्या आ रही है बताइए तो। आपको आपकी वैल्यूज ऐसे आ रही होगी, मतलब आपका टू डायमेंशनल डोमेन है। ओके, यहाँ आपके
यस
ग्रिड
सर,
पॉइंट
नीचे
आपके सारे,
100 है
हाँ हाँ जो भी है आपके ग्रिड
और
पॉइंट्स हैं
नीचे
ऐसे
से।
ऐसे, है ना। इंटरनल असेसमेंट 2 की बात कर रहे हैं ना।
यस
तो
सर।
यस सर, ऑल टी आई जे पे आपको वैल्यूज मिल गए, यहाँ पे भी वैल्यू पता है, यहाँ पे वैल्यू पता है, यहाँ पे पता है, यहाँ पे पता है। तो इधर you can take a cross section, or you tell that at this cross section I want to estimate। वहाँ पे टी आई जे वैल्यूज क्या है वो देख लो और प्लॉट करा दो लीनियर तरीके से। अदरवाइज देर इज ए फंक्शन कॉल्ड कॉन्टूर, कॉन्टूर कराना है, टी रखना है, और एक्स और वाई वो प्लॉट कर देगा। बट यहाँ पे एक केयर रखना पड़ता है, एक्स और वाई तुम ये जो है मैट्रिक्स है, ठीक है, और एक्स और वाई वेक्टर है, तो मैटलब ये प्लॉट नहीं कर पाता। तो एक्स और वाई को कैपिटल एक्स और कैपिटल वाई बनाना पड़ेगा, जो कि मेरा मैट्रिक्स होगा, तब ये प्लॉट कर देगा, तब ये बहुत अच्छा सा कंटूर प्लॉट कर देगा। तो उसके लिए एक फंक्शन है, उसको बोला जाता है मेश ग्रिड। ओके, मेश ग्रिड, ग्रिड। तो मेश ग्रिड जैसे ही करेंगे हम, मेश ग्रिड एक्स, स्मॉल एक्स, वो हमको कैपिटल एक्स दे देगा। तो ये अगर मेरा वेक्टर था, लेट सपोज एक्स इज माई वेक्टर 1 2 3 4, ऐसे 1 2 3 4 5 6 था, वाई भी मेरा लेट सपोज 1 2 3 4 5 6 था। तो मेश ग्रिड क्या करेगा, ये मैट्रिक्स बना के दे देगा। मतलब अभी तुम्हारा जो कॉलम था ऐसा था एक्स का 1 2 3 4 जो भी था, अब तुम्हारा कैपिटल एक्स क्या बनेगा, तुम्हारा मैट्रिक्स बन जाएगा 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, इसको कॉपी कर देगा, ठीक है। सिमिलरली वाई भी तुम्हारा पूरा कॉपी कर देगा और मैट्रिक्स बना देगा। नाउ यू आर रेडी टू प्लॉट कैपिटल एक्स कैपिटल वाई विथ योर टी, बिकॉज टी इज योर मैट्रिक्स। टी तुम्हारा पूरा एक मैट्रिक्स है ना, टी तुम्हारा जैसे यहाँ पे
यस
100
सर।
होगा, 90 99 92 75 72, आई डोंट नो, सम पूरा वैल्यूज फिल होगा, ये पूरा मैट्रिक्स है। तो मैट्रिक्स को प्लॉट कराने के लिए तुमको मैट्रिक्स के साथ ही प्लॉट कराना होगा करस्पॉन्डिंग वैल्यूज में। मतलब दिस 1,1 पे तुम्हारा 100 है, 1,2 पे 1,2 पे तुम्हारा 99 है, 1,3 पे 98 है, ठीक है। 2,1 पे 2,1 पे 75 है, ऐसे प्लॉट कराएगा। तो उसके लिए कंटूर को वो वेक्टर नहीं, यहाँ मैट्रिक्स डालना होगा, ठीक है, तो हो जाएगा प्लॉट। ये वाला दो फंक्शन ध्यान रखिएगा, कंटूर से प्लॉट
सर
करना
वहाँ
होगा।
पे
हाँ, और मेश ग्रिड करना होगा आपको। मेश ग्रिड भी देख लीजिए, गूगल कीजिए मैटलैब के या मैटलैब हेल्प में जाके मेश ग्रिड और कंटूर, ये दोनों चीज़ सीखिए और इससे प्लॉट हो जाएगा, अगर आपके पास वैल्यूज है तो ऐसे, ठीक है। ट्राई दैट एंड देन
ओके, थैंक
लेट
यू
मी,
सर।
क्योंकि ये आपका जो क्वेश्चन था, ये क्वेरी था, ये सॉल्व कर देगा डेफिनेटली, मेश ग्रिड एंड कंटूर।
थैंक यू सर।
ठीक है, थैंक यू। लेट मी टेक अटेंडेंस। Okay, then if no further questions, we may leave the meeting. Thank you. And I upload this on YouTube today.